Yeah, that's fine for now. All right. Good evening, everybody.
Now I can see you.
Yeah. There's an overlay. Hi, Jack. Yeah, there's an
Hello.
overlay that we do in the beginning where you can't see everybody. Are you able to move your camera a little bit towards your?
I guess more to the middle here. Hang on.
There you go.
Let's
But
do this.
still, you're still a little bit off. Can you move it a little bit to your left? A little bit to your left. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Now you can move back to your spot. There you go. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. That way you're in the middle and we don't have to worry about it. We want to do triple screen or something. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome to RioPolitics Live. It is about 7:35. Apologies for being a little bit late, but apparently Manny is saying that there are nationwide 911 outages and internet issues throughout the country. Hopefully you're able to see us right now and not having any issues. We have with us today a gentleman by the name of Jack Garcia. Or Garcia. Do you prefer Garcia or Garcia or Garcia or
Garcia is fine.
Garcia? Cool.
You
Yeah,
call me Jack.
yeah. Some people are very particular about how you say their last name, so I want to make sure I say it right.
The proper pronunciation. Yeah, it's Garcia. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Jack Garcia is working to be your San Benito CISD school board trustee. And we here at RioPolitics are not just about Brownsville. We're about the Valley and about the Rio Grande Valley. Jack, tell us about yourself.
First of all, I want to thank you both for the invite. I've been looking forward to meeting you both and sharing some of my vision and so forth. I'm homegrown from San Benito. I'm originally born in Harlingen, raised in San Benito. My family's from San Benito. I'm a product of San Benito, a graduate from San Benito High School. Went on to obtain my undergrad at Pan American University back in the day when it was Pan American, probably Bronx. And later on, I worked in the field for many years. I've been working in the field working with at-risk youth. I worked with the Department of Job Corps. I worked for the City of San Antonio Police Department. I was involved in a special project they had trying to suppress gang activity, street gang activity on the west side back in the mid to late 90s. And then I later came back to the Valley and became a probation officer. Prior to that, when I was working on my undergrad, I was able to work with San Benito School District. I was able to coach, which I enjoyed, and I also worked with special needs students at Miller Jordan Middle School, and I enjoyed that time. I came back and I was working as a probation officer with Cameron County Juvenile Probation Department, and then an opportunity came along for this wonderful program that would usher most of my entire career in the field of after-school programming. And at that time, we were trying the school district was trying to get different individuals with special backgrounds to kind of like a melting pot to come together and to provide some type of services for our community and our students and our parents. Since I came back, and since I had the criminal justice background, that was my specialty, and I was able to help out in that particular area. And that was in 1999. And I had a full set of hair at the time when I first started. Yeah. So, but it was good. And spent 22 years with the district. I'm currently right now. I work for the state. I work for Department of Juvenile Justice Department with the state, and so I'm again in the field of working with at-risk youth. So it's a little about me. I'm a proud father of one. That his name's Jack Garcia, and the reason why I'm a special kid is because he's a cancer survivor at the age of 10, and so right now he's growing. He's in remission, thank God, and Jake has been a big inspiration for me, even through my hardest times and so forth. So
how did you find out that you don't mind me asking, how did you find out that he had cancer? Hi, Roxanne, welcome. Please share, like and share this feed so that people can listen about Jake and Jack.
Jake, over a period of, I would say about 6 months, he started losing a lot of weight. He started complaining of headaches, nausea, vomiting, and they just as a 10-year-old, you really doesn't know what's going on other than the complaints. And his mother and I would take him to the hospital and to the doctor. They basically said that, he had headaches and give him a Tylenol. We went to ER at least 3 times, finally did x-rays. And they basically said that he might have fallen and hit his head. And, he was in a Boy Scouts at that time, and he was working on a project on a weeknight. And he just completely passed out on the table. He was working on a project.
Wow.
He woke up and he looked at me and he told me, Dad, I can't stand the headache anymore, and I knew then that, something was wrong with him, and we decided to take him to a specialist. And I'll be honest, off that exact x-ray that they took of his head, I believe, the specialist was able to find a brain tumor. So from there, it was a process of surgery, proton radiation at MD Anderson, first rate. We have some incredible people over there at MD Anderson and Texas Children's Hospital. The Vanny Cook out of McAllen. The staff that are there, that they do a fantastic job with.
Vanny Cook's a great organization. I know our friends at KRV do a telethon for them every year and support Vanny Cook. The reason I was asking you about
this is a special month. This is a special month, by the way. It's Wear Gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So
it's September is?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I did not know that. Well, I didn't know that. The reason I'm asking you that question is, I'm assuming he's going to San Benito CISD right now. Is he going to school right now, doing distance learning, or?
He's doing distance learning right now. He's had to deal with some of the issues as far as catching up and so forth because of the long absence from school.
Right.
So,
how is he's one of the people I would assume that would be very susceptible to coronavirus, and one of the types of kids that we need to be able to protect in the school districts. In Brownsville and other districts, we're having issues about whether or not to go back to school, what not to go back to school. What are your opinions as not only just a candidate, but as a parent about how San Benito can protect children to make sure that they don't become susceptible and catch coronavirus?
It's going to be a lot of monitoring, and I say that based on my experience right now with the state as an example. I work at the Evans unit off Monte Cristo in Edinburgh, and I can tell you they're doing a fabulous job of trying to maintain. When you consider you have children, youth that are incarcerated, and what I've learned is a lot of the techniques that they're doing from every individual. Going into a facility where they're temperature checked, portable washing devices, and we're not just talking about doing temperature checks at the front. You also have to do temperature checks throughout the day. That's something else that I think I've been impressed, and constantly of the washing of the hands, avoiding groups, avoiding a lot of rotations. You see that a lot in schools, regular FaceTime. So it's more of the cafeteria, their food's coming into their areas, smaller ratios. So that's what I've seen. And, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
But that's a tough situation with high risk, both any child, and as a parent, hey, we have a responsibility of protecting our children, and so it's something that needs to be taken serious, and so forth. So and I have some other ideas, but I don't, under the COVID-19 and as far as some of the things that I feel, based on my observation and based on what I've read, the hybrid kind of a system where, you have, parents will have choices. I think parents should have choices whether they keep their child at home or obviously they do face-to-face time. The only thing I'm concerned about on the virtual learning is the backward slide of the students, because not all students can handle the virtual learning. And so we don't want those students to fall behind.
Yeah. That's one of the things that has worried me about distance learning. I know the state had sort of required school districts to have some sort of like a benchmark at the beginning of the school year to see exactly how much students have lost from, let's say, spring break. For many students, it was spring break, and then everyone went back to school because this is going to be tough. Have you had parents at San Benito reached out to you to tell you whether or not they feel that their kids are behind at San Benito? And if they are, what are your goals in order to bring them back up to speed, considering I think we're going to be in distance learning at least throughout the rest of the semester because we are a hot spot.
I've had both parents and staff come to me and voice their opinions, their concerns. I think the last couple of parents I've talked to is they're basically saying, look, we're getting close to the Thanksgiving holiday. Why do we have to go back? I mean, we're going to end up being on vacation soon, kind of deal. And we're having to readjust when we're already have a schedule right now. Those were two parents that I just spoke to, I think on Saturday about. Now, of course, there's the state mandates that you have to consider. And I'm not too familiar just yet on whether the state is going to require, the face-to-face right away, within a certain amount of time. I can tell you in doing some research that I am concerned about is the attendance. Right now, the state is giving a waiver to most districts up to 12 weeks right now, where they're basically taking a snapshot and saying, okay, San Benito, you have, so many students, and we're going to give you money for that many students during a duration of 12 weeks.
Right.
We're in the middle of those 12 weeks. I think there's 6 weeks left.
Yeah.
And so that said, could a district ask for an extension of the waiver? Yes. However, they're going to go back to regular attendance ADA money, ADA, which is, you get money for every student that attends school, both virtual or face-to-face. And, looking at the numbers right now, I was able to look at the numbers earlier this afternoon. San Benito right now is a little over 9,000 students right now as we speak, which is a kind of alarming a little bit, because when you consider San Benito, if you go back maybe 2 years ago, we had over 12,000 students. So you factor in the loss, and if the numbers keep dropping like that, then there's going to be some serious conversations at that point.
What you're running for as you're challenging an incumbent in your race, right? Yeah, because there's at least one, I think one race that's an open seat. I just didn't remember if yours was the open seat or not. How long has your opponent been in office, and do you attribute the loss to bad leadership at San Benito, and that's why you're running, or is this just you're running because you think you'll do a better job than the incumbent?
The incumbent, I've made statements before in the past to say that, I have nothing personal against my incumbent. And matter of fact, I know his family very well, and they're very good people. I've stated that in the past because, San Benito's a small community.
Right.
We all know each other and so forth. But I don't like the direction of the district. I don't like some of the way that the district is being run right now in many ways. And I can truly open up into that discussion. I felt it very important for me. As you guys know, I used to be the director of after-school program for San Benito CISD, and I had a separation with the district. And I felt like if I couldn't be the director, I surely could be a board member to help and with policies and with the finances of the district to give input. And I believe in student success, achievement. And I think tied to your question is obviously what is transpiring right now is not working. Okay. Because you have, like all districts, Brownsville, Harlingen, those neighboring districts around, we're competing with charter schools, and it's a harsh reality that we're dealing with. However, just like parents have choices, and if you're going to provide those choices, you need to sell the district. And what do you have to offer that will convince me to go to San Benito? And one of the things that I noticed within the last 2-3 years is we are not focusing on programs like the way we should be. As a former director of the after school program, just an example, we were showcasing the after school program on television and so forth with the school district media department. Administration decided to cancel the show because they no longer wanted to focus on programs, but they wanted to focus more on campuses. Well, here's the problem with that. The problem is that as a parent, they want to know what type of programs, and besides the great quality education, what else do you have to offer for me as a parent? And so it was disappointing for something like that to happen. And I felt, that's an example of why I feel the current system is not working. How can you cancel a TV show about kids and what they're doing, and then the idea now is let's focus on the campuses? Well, that's good. I think we should be showcasing what are going on in the campuses, but we also need a showcase of programs so that parents will know, hey, you know what? I like what they're doing in San Benito in this particular case. Another thing that they've been doing, trying to get attendance, is that which I'm totally against. They hired a PR firm to try to promote the district on a quarterly basis. I'm not in favor of this this ongoing contract right now because it's costing the taxpayers quite a bit of money, somewhere about $9,000 a month.
What does the school district get out of this PR firm that they're not already getting from their own in-house staff?
Wow, that's a great question. As an outsider asking that question, apparently the newsletter is mailed out. It can be obtained online on their website. But we have an award-winning public relations department in San Benito CISD, well-equipped, great people. I know, I used to work with them, that are more than capable to promote the district. And I thought they were doing a great job. I don't see any additional benefit. And obviously, if the concept was to help promote the district and the numbers are going down, well, obviously there's something wrong.
Yeah, that seems to be the concern with a lot of the public schools locally. You're losing 3,000 students in the last 2 years. Brownsville has lost about the same amount of people, so the percentage hit is not as much as what you are experiencing. Yours is what, a 25% decrease in students in the last 2 years. Brownsville, I think maybe 10%, but still, it's a significant amount of people that are going to these charter schools. You all have charter schools that are competing within the state limits of San Benito that they're willing to go to, or they're just going to another town, or what is the school district doing to contact those people that are leaving to bring them back potentially? You know, that's a big question, but I'm going to give you a chance to answer.
I don't know other than what I know of, and please forgive me. I don't. I know it's more of a public relations attempt to bring. I know that recently they tried the concept of specialized schools in particular, like the elementaries, where they concentrate maybe on science related projects, and they're really first-rate staff. Okay. And the fact that I've worked with them, they do a fabulous job. The administrators, I personally know them. They go way out for our kids. However, that said, one thing that I think is important as a policymaker, just because that is a specialized campus, I expect children at all schools to have an opportunity for enrichment and so forth at the same level. One thing that I heard from a community member tell me, that's a regular school. We're a specialized school. So when you make a statement like that, that kind of hurts, because that school, that regular school, has kids too and has parents too, and they deserve just as much as far as activities and opportunities, just like a specialized school. And I know it's a concept that works. It's very popular, obviously, in the secondaries. We'll see. I mean, it's something that has to be reviewed and to see if it's working.
Give me a second. I'm going to step away for like maybe 30 seconds. Manny has a question. I want to bring Christine's topic.
Yeah. First, we'll start off with Christine Weaver, because programs like the after-school program are also important in the education of our children. They reinforce education and enrich the kids, and also keeps them busy. Keeps their minds in the right place. Now, is this your first time running for a seat or an office like this?
No, I held the seat of a commissioner with the city of San Benito. I was an elected official with San Benito, but over 10 years ago, actually. Let me see. Yeah, it's been over 10, 11 years ago.
Ray, I'll get to this question just a second here, buddy. I'm sorry, go ahead. Jack, you can.
I think one of the things that they're trying to do, obviously, like I stated earlier, was that the specialized campuses concept within the elementaries was something that was started maybe 2 years ago and so forth, which is a great thing. But I go back to my example was my experience with after school. And one of the things that I think that works is you need consistencies at all the campuses. If you don't have that, then all you're doing is moving your kids around. You're not really expanding beyond, and I think that's important. And just like after school, whatever activities that are there, it's important. One thing. Within the after school, there were several components, from chess to academics, and it was based on the culture and the need of the campuses. The instructional leader is the principal, and the principal needs to express themselves of what they need for their campuses, and so that's what I try to start now. Currently, right now. It's been kind of the system has been changed since I haven't been there anymore. The fact that there are grant sites, because you can apply for grants under 21st Century, and then there's non-grant sites. I had consistency across the board with staff and so forth because that was important to me. Currently, right now, it's what they've basically done at the non-grant sites. They've given it monies directly to the campuses, as far as I think the principals and the assistant principals, and they run their programs there, separate and apart, which is it's okay. It's not bad, but there's going to be a lack of inconsistency, because if you have somebody that is really pushing the program, it's at a certain level, and then you have someone that's not, then it's not at the same level. Where if you have accountability across the board with held one or two people responsible, then you're going to have more consistency. But that's an example for after school.
Yeah, Ray made a comment right now about chess programs. So, first, Ray said something about chess programs. Has chess been cut back there at San Benito? Because he's right. Chess is a great program. I know some campuses close their chess program. The thinking skills that students learn from chess is life-changing.
I'd have to agree with Ray. I was a chess coordinator there, and I can tell you that the impact on both the students and not just the idea of the chess, and it's very popular in Brownsville just as well in San Benito, was to help these students kind of think before they react, and it helps them with their academics, and then there was not just that, it was the social aspect of experience that a child was able to obtain that they would never be able to obtain from like getting to travel,
right?
An example, leave the valley, so those experiences are very special to me because I got to see it firsthand.
Yeah. Who are you running against? I'm
running against the board president, Orlando Lopez.
Okay.
He's the board president.
How long has he been in office? Do you by any chance know, or at least?
I want to say he's going into his second term. I mean, he's got 2 terms, I believe.
And you're 4-year terms in San Benito?
They're 3-year.
3-year terms. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know some school districts are 3. Just curious, that's a board policy of how long the term is. Is that something that you would consider expanding to make them 4-year terms, or do you think 3 years is the right amount for a trustee at San Benito?
I think 3 years is sufficient. Unfortunately, I'm a big supporter of having the constituents vote upon the individual they want. Just like, we have to have checks and balances. If I'm not cutting it, then you know what? My boss is the constituents, and they'll fire me and basically not elect me in. And so I'm a strong believer in that. So I'm fine with it, right, the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct. Nickname Papas, yes.
Yeah. The question that I have, I asked this of Janie, who's also running in a different place there in San Benito. Would you support more transparency of elected officials or candidates by making board policy that all campaign finance reports at San Benito be posted online and readily available? Because earlier you mentioned that we have this $9,000 that you're paying. I think you said 9,000 quarterly to the PR firm, so that we know what vendors are putting money into campaign or contributing. And it's legal. It is legal to contribute, but I think it's in the form of transparency. Would you support doing that in board policy to make sure that there's complete transparency when it comes to money and campaign finance reports?
Absolutely. One thing I will say about my opponent, recently, it's made some headlines here recently that not only was my opponent getting funding directly to his campaign, but they developed a special purpose PAC that is entitled, that mentions children of San Benito. Well, it's for campaign purposes. And so, the money, what I saw as far as is that money is specifically for the 5 candidates, and then whatever leftover money, my understanding, my opponent stated in an article in a newspaper that they would donate to scholarships for students. Now, personally, I wouldn't be part of a special purpose PAC like that mentions students, but yet the campaign, and then whatever's left over, you're going to give to the kids.
Yeah, you may want to look at the campaign finance reports for those things, and I'd recommend looking at the Texas Ethics Commission and how they regulate certain political action committees. The way it sounds like this may not be running exactly how it should be. I don't know if it's a specific purpose PAC or if it's a general purpose PAC, because if it's a specific purpose PAC, that political action committee needs to be doing their finance reports to the school district. But if it's a general purpose PAC, and it sounds like it might be,
no, it's a specific. It's a specific. Yeah.
Okay, so that goes there. But if it's a general purpose, it goes to the TEC. But regardless, the TEC governs whether or not there any potential violation, because it sounds odd that they would be doing money and whatever's left over, they go to the student. That just seems a little bit odd. It doesn't pass my smell test. It could be completely legal if I'm not an attorney, but it just sounds weird. Erasmo asked a good question. How difficult is it running against the slate, if that's what you're doing right now?
Very difficult. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to compete against my opponent financially. The amount of money directly to his campaign, and then now they're getting money from a special purpose PAC also as well. But I'm a firm believer that mine's grassroots, and it's about the people voting who they want, and that's all I can do.
One against one in your race, right? It's one against one in your race.
Yes, it's heads up. Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing? I know you're saying your grassroots, but what are you doing considering that this is going to be in a November election? It's a presidential election year. San Benito races are normally in May. There's going to be a smaller turnout usually in May than there will be in this election. So what are you doing to get out there, to get people to know who you are, to want to vote for you?
There's been a combination of keep in mind when first filed was in January. So it was more of a traditional one where you go out, you block walk, you do those things. And then obviously in March, we had to put the pause because of the COVID situation. And it was horrible. And I might say, for the record, I lost my father in the process of this COVID situation. So thank you. And so I felt, it needed to be more of a social media. It needed to be more of communication by phone and so forth to respect people in this time. Now, getting the people out there to vote, by letting people know, whether by like I mentioned, social media or the traditional way of the media itself, newspapers and so forth. But at the same time, respecting the community and being cautious, because I surely wouldn't want anybody to get ill, and it's tough. It's very tough until you experience it, until you lose a loved one. You just got to be careful.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. You kind of touched on it now, was campaigning now in this day and age in 2020 with the pandemic versus campaigning the traditional way of shaking hands and kissing babies and all that. It's been a different experience for you. Something you prefer, or do you like the old school style of face to face? And
I like the combination of both, actually.
Yeah,
I do like to talk to people. I like to listen to people to give me feedback because I may have a certain perspective, but if I hear someone express themselves, it'll open my mind and kind of think, well, you know what? I'm actually getting what they're saying now. I see their point of view on something because to me, you're always learning, and I think it's important. And the response to the social media has also been good. But being in the district for 22 years has allowed me to get to meet a lot of people and parents and so forth. So
yeah, he does have this gentleman here. His name is Erasmo Castro. In case you don't know who he is,
I think everybody in Cameron County at this point knows who he is.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of the social media method.
Yeah,
and I think at this point, if you're a candidate and you're not using social media, then something's wrong with your campaign.
and especially in this election, I mean, other than the fact that social media is king, I guess, right now compared to what you did when you were a city commissioner, are there any overlapping issues that you see as a running for trustee, potentially being a trustee versus being a city commissioner, or is it just completely different for you?
Well, I mean, there's different issues. City is more your priority in city should always be infrastructure, a good service and good infrastructure for your constituents in the city. And obviously, with the city, you're dealing with a smaller budget compared to the number one job provider in the community of San Benito is San Benito CISD. I mean, you're talking about over, I don't know, $117+ million operating budget. So, so those concerns are different in that sense. As a member of the commission, we were dealing with subjects like lift stations or street repairs and so forth, parks. Attracting more businesses to our community and so forth. Whereas, and here, we're about our kids, our children. And, I enjoyed being a member of the commission. I love public service. And I think it's important. But because of my special love for kids and working in the field as long as I have, it's a huge reward to me. If I may, one of the main reasons why I'm running, when I mentioned earlier about a different perspective and a different direction, I think currently there's a lack of oversight of this right now, in particular with this district right now. As members of the board, you represent the community, the constituents. And I think right now they've lost sight of that. Okay. I'm going to tell you examples that I think is important to understand. We live in a democracy, okay? One of the biggest things that is going on right now, like in regular board meetings, was public comment. I'm really big about public comment, where a member of the community can come up and being constructive, not attacking an individual and so forth, but whether praising or saying, you know what, I don't like this, or I think you should consider this, should be something that every citizen in San Benito should be able to do. Mm-hmm. But instead, the current policy states that you can only discuss what's on the board agenda. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to go up there and talk about maybe an issue concerning a particular policy, I can't currently right now, because if it's not on the agenda, and I don't like tactics.
Well, I don't mind to interrupt, but well, I do, because public comment is supposed to be about things that are not on the agenda, because currently under Texas Open Meetings Act, you are allowed as a citizen to be able to comment on any item you want to and be recognized by the board because of what was passed in the last legislature. So in essence, there's no need to have public comment if the limitation is you don't talk about anything but that's on the agenda. I'll go back to the question that Mary had in a second. So would you enforce that and change public comment board policy if you were elected?
Absolutely. I think any parent, any taxpayer should be entitled to come up and express themselves freely. I mean, within the rules, obviously. Like I said, you don't go up there and attack an individual or personnel or so forth. But at the same time, you should be able to express yourself. And the tactics that this current board has used. Let me give an example. They didn't like what parents were expressing to them, and what did they do? They moved public comment to the back of the meeting.
So you would move it back to the front.
Well, I think currently it might be back in the front, but they did that. Mm. Now, tell me, why would you move public comment to the back of the meeting? Because you don't want to hear. You're hoping that they leave by the time you get out of an executive session.
Right.
And that's not good open government.
It's not.
And that's an example of losing sight of who elected you.
Mary was asking a good question in line with this. What are some steps you would take to improve transparency and communication in a district as a board member? Outside of the public comment, what would you do?
Well, first of all, I think there needs to be a better relationship with the media. I can tell you that right now. We have our local paper, an example, and there was, I saw where there was some with the administration and the local San Benito News, there was issues there. I think there needs to be better communication starting from the very top, and that's our superintendent. Mm-hmm. Personally, I don't think it's good where it needs to be, so that part of the communication. And I'm not talking about using the current public relations. I'm talking about the superintendent himself being held accountable for better communication. I don't think it's there. Open to the public comment. There needs to be more of direct dialogue with the community, so forth. One thing I think as a board member, I like to express myself in open session. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go hide in the back in executive session. Okay. If I'm in the minority on something, I'm going to express myself. I voted for this because of X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. And that's how I felt at that time when I did. I did it as a member of the commission, and I'm going to continue doing it as a board member. Mm-hmm. So those are examples, but it starts with a top down, and it's the culture, guys. If you have this culture of cloak and dagger, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Here, Alan says board members cited negativity as a motivating factor when restricting public comment. These people are supposed to be beholden to the public, whether the feedback is negative or positive, and he's correct.
Adam, he is correct. I saw that in a. I've seen it several times by our current board president make that comment. If it doesn't go their way, he likes to make that statement that they're being negative or negativity.
And that's not public service at all. Board members take ample opportunity to disparage our local media during meetings or reporting the news. Let me guess, I use the word fake news. A couple of things. I'd like, Alan, and those of you that are commenting from San Benito, please like and share this particular feed so that other people in San Benito can see this interview. And please like and share our page. We appreciate it. And if you have a Google account or a Gmail account, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel as well. Let me read this comment, and then we're going to go to rapid fire, Jack. Currently, many school boards allow public comment as a complete open forum where all stakeholders have an opportunity to express all issues. They do, and apparently it seems like in San Benito CISD they don't. Usually about 45 minutes into the show, I do a little rapid fire question. So anybody who has any random questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and we'll post them through as soon as I'm done with my rapid fire questions. These are just off the top of your head. You don't have to overthink them. These are just random questions. You probably already saw some of them if you saw my show with Janie. So forgive me if some of them are repeated. Are you ready with the 2-minute clock?
I'm going to do my best, guys. Okay.
All right. San Benito gold or San Benito purple?
Purple all the way.
All right. I thought maybe I might go with gold. I thought you might go with gold. Biggest football rival for San Benito and why?
The Harlingen Cardinals, Harlingen High School. The Battle of the Royals says it all. And the fact that I love the fact that I've been able to wear the uniform. I know what it's like, and I've been in 3 Battle of the Royals. So it's one of the greatest experience that one that played football with Samuel High School that you can have for the rest of your life. I'll be honest with you.
Ray, this is Ray Martinez's question always: chess or checkers?
Chess.
Okay. Zach got to purple all the way. Bobby was saying, excuse me, not Corona, not Corona. The person on the board that you're most likely to get along with right now.
Whoa, that's really putting me on the spot, guys.
You don't have to answer the question. You don't feel comfortable.
Well, I have to be open about this, but I have my aunt that's currently on the board, so she would probably be upset with me if I didn't pick her, Jack Garcia. But Angel Mendez is a great person that's I've worked with and know. So there are I would say them two have communicated with me.
Okay. Sorry, my brain just Iron Man, Batman. Usually one of the questions we ask: Iron Man, Batman.
Batman.
Pepperoni pizza or sausage pizza?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni pizza.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah.
Which one? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay.
I remember seeing the first one.
Okay, that makes sense. The Jack Cantu from KRV. These are his 2 sponsored questions always: cake or pie?
Pie.
Pie. That's a good answer. I like that answer. Good answer. Right Twix or left Twix?
Right.
Right Twix. All right. Anybody? I'm shocked. We usually get a lot of questions on the little comment, but nobody wants to add his. Man, you got one?
Nope. I already did my Star Wars and or Star Trek one.
Okay. Tejano or Norteño music?
Tejano.
Okay. Freddie Fender or Narciso Martinez?
Oh, guys, that's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say Freddie Fender.
Freddie Fender. Okay. DC or Marvel? Okay. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay, cool. We already asked that, Ray, at Chester. Ask that question. Ask it again. Answer it anyway. Answer it again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you answered it. All right, cool. You've successfully done a 2-minute rapid fire question. I'm trying to do a fewer questions because we do get questions that people just want to ask, and I want to give them an opportunity to ask those questions. The opponent claimed Mr. Garcia was hard to find during the day when he.
That's where it ended right there.
Okay.
He updated that.
Your opponent claims that you were hard to find when you were an employee of the district. How do you respond to that?
My immediate supervisor knew where I was at, and I've always worked on the program. Somebody asked me that on Facebook, and I told them this. When I was overseeing the after school program, it was a state and national recognized program. So I think the record speaks for itself. We were always in compliance. Matter of fact, we did so good that the state gave us additional funds because we went beyond what we were supposed to do. So that's how I would respond to that. That question is just kind of not an appropriate question. I'll be honest with you.
Thanks, Claudia. Okay. I'll tell you that you made really good points, Jack. We're standing with you all the way. Vote Jack Garcia 2020. Jack, what is your opinion on a fund balance? I'm assuming that when you were a city commissioner, you had a healthy fund balance, that could function, 60 days is usually the going rate for a fund balance, making sure you have that left over. Some school districts don't even advertise their fund balance. What is your opinion on having a fund balance as a school board member?
It's very important to have operating, especially right now with this uncertainty. I mean, consider the enrollment being down, considering the way that the state, it may technically go back to the ADA, and the fact that we have to be very cautious about our funding. I'm going to call it, what it is. I was an ex-employee. We all deserve raises. All our teachers, our staff, and so forth. And the current board approved a 4% increase during the middle of the pandemic. Now, my heart's to the people I work with. But it's rather, do you want hours to eventually possibly getting cut, or do you want that extra money? Those type of things. And when you possibly go into a deficit, it's whether you're going to have to cut services, or it's kind of like, what's the term? Take from Paul, pay for Peter, or something like that. So those are tough decisions, and I think that the timing, you need to be cautious under these uncertain times that are going ahead of us right now. It's going to be interesting, guys, on what's going to happen. And quite frankly, this is not going to go away until a vaccine is developed and passed out, within our country. We're going to be dealing with this.
In some school districts, and you'll see this in Brownsville specifically, I know this, in the last 4 years, they've had a student enrollment drop several thousand students. In your cases, in the last two, you've had 3,000. Yet you'll see the cost for administration balloon by $1 million in the same time period. Is the same kind of thing happening at San Benito CISD? And if it is, what would you do to rein in the cost of administration until you can get back those students that you lost?
Yeah, look, student services is first in priority. That's the bottom line. Even if I wasn't still an employee of the district, that's the number one focus. I can't say I don't know enough of how much administration, as far as top heavy, I would need more information to properly answer that one.
They
And
should.
if I may, I want to go back to the other one before. I know somebody, I'm being recorded, and I know that they're going to call me on the carpet on this. I never said that I was against raises for San Benito CISD. I questioned the timing. It's the timing that I have a concern about.
No, I mean, and everybody calls you in the question for that's a ridiculous statement, because it's very difficult when you right now have businesses shuttering. They're closing down. They're not able to pay their taxes. They're not able to pay their employees in the private sector. Why is but yet in the public sector, in this case, teachers or whoever getting those raises, they're experiencing raises. How are you going to be able to get that money from property taxpayers? That's the bulk of where your money is coming from. You don't get it from sales tax dollars. You don't get it from those things that's at a school board. You get it from property taxes and from the state. And it's for lack of a better word, it's insane. My personal opinion, not necessarily yours, to be raising 4% in the middle of a pandemic when you have private businesses, people losing their jobs, unemployed in our community. And we've been hit hard by coronavirus in the Valley. Thankfully, the country is coming back. People are, we're seeing millions and millions of jobs coming back, but it's still money that they've lost and whatnot. So I'm with you. So I'm hopefully nobody will call you into question on that, because I didn't.
I just want to go on the record and make that clear, so because I don't want to be accused later on. Well, you didn't want to. No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, you didn't say that. I didn't hear it that way. And if they did, they're misconstruing your words. Man, you got a question? I forgot. You usually get the question right after rapid fire, and I didn't let you do it.
Yep. No, I asked mine earlier prematurely, but that's okay.
Chess teams are national champs and many scholarships earned. Wow, you had national champ when you were the chess instructor?
Yes, we did. We did have very successful program. Guys, I know part of the what happened with my separation with the district involved some issues relating to chess, and I know that my heart has always been for those kids, and it will continue to be for those kids, even as an elected official and so forth. I think they're good. I've seen the really positive of the program and helping. I mean, I've even seen kids with special needs, disabilities, that were able to excel in chess.
Wow!
So firsthand, guys, and it was incredible to see a child that has a disability but yet can play the game and can think way beyond. It's quite remarkable.
That's chess is critical thinking, and I think that's an important development. If you can get that started at a young age, I think that greatly benefits them growing up. That's why I think people who do learn chess at a young age have better minds, as they grow. This comment from Patricia. Go ahead, Roman, because I got one thing from him after that.
Yeah, my children were part of the SB. Patricia's comment. My children were part of the SB chess team. Jack always went out of his way to give parents support when needed. He has always worked hard for the teachers and parents of San Benito. Wow, you have a lot of people that really care a lot about you, Jack.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Patty.
Anytime,
a few of my friends fought for nationals and could not go. Ray, are you getting jealous a little bit of Jack a little bit? Ray is our local chess guru. Royal. Yeah. I'm just kidding, Ray.
Oh no, and I know Ray. And he knows me of when I oversaw the San Benito program and so forth. So he's very familiar with my work. Ray's a good advocate for the chess program.
At what age would you recommend, even for you, Ray, asking, at what age would you recommend a child get into chess? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
They can. I used to teach the little ones, the pre-Kers and kinder. You can teach them that young. However, you kind of know the ones that are going to stay after a while as they develop. They get into different sports and it becomes a challenge. But I was always the type that let the child play if they really want to play. If they don't want to play, it shouldn't be forced upon. and because they want to do some other sports and so forth, and so
3 years old, really? Wow.
yeah,
That's really young.
Ray starts them real young at 3. I've worked with 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, somewhere on that.
How do you do that? Like I wouldn't even. My daughter never did chess.
It's kind of tied into like a story, and that's how you teach them the pieces and so forth. So it takes a great deal of patience.
Yeah, well, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I have nothing but time with the little one. So I might have to buy me a chess set. I don't have one. Maybe a big one for him to be able to play with and like it. It's already been about an hour. I usually don't like to keep guests longer than an hour. Is there any particular topic or question that I didn't ask that you think is important that you want to talk about, and it's your closing thought?
Well, I think I'm a I advocate for the I wrote some notes here of student success and achievement, and I want to support programs and I want to also support students with special needs. It's a group of population that I worked with, and I have a great soft spot for those kids and those parents. Oversight. We got that big bond going on right now. I want to promise the community to have proper oversight on that, and a strong oversight of our current superintendent as well. I think that's very important. Currently, I'm not a big fan of what happened recently. It was very hadn't been very public and on his contract as an example.
His contract not on y'all's website at all?
Yes, it is on the website.
Okay.
But I'm not, I can't think of another position where as a board member, you represent the best interests of the district, not of the superintendent. And I think that's important. Now, the superintendent works for the district. So I think that's important because there's been some inconsistencies of policy. As a board member, it's policies and your finances. And so we need to be able to hold the superintendent accountable. Right now under this COVID, guys, I just want to say that, we need to provide the staff, their resources that they need to deal with this, especially coming back on this combination of face-to-face and virtual learning is going to be tough for these teachers. And so we need to support them as much as possible.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, let me just
I'd like to get to know the person before I ask really tough questions. So you're more than welcome to always come back again. If you want to come back on together with Janie as well at the same time, that'd be okay with me. Because usually it's hard to do in an hour to ask you everything that needs to be asked, and it's tough, but
I think we hit the good spots.
Yeah, and so the thing is special needs children are humongously important. We can talk more specifically about that. For that next time if you want to come in. Hopefully before early vote starts, maybe in a couple of weeks. Just get together with Manny and we'll schedule you.
October 13th. October 13th will be the start, and it'll be 3 weeks of early voting at the community building.
Yeah, well, I think usually our schedule is just so everybody knows. I think starting this month, now that we're getting into October, we'll be doing every single day. Monday through Sunday through Saturday.
I want to recognize Ana Yanes. She's just on there. She's also a candidate for school board. Good person from Moreno and Janie. So.
So what we're doing is 7:30 is usually our time slot, but we're going to start in October because we want to get as many guests, as many candidates as possible throughout the valley on our show. We also have a late night show, but Sunday nights are not really our best nights. It's our favorite night because we get a group of conservatives talking about politics, national politics, and so We do that on Sunday nights. So you're more than welcome.
Yeah, it is an issue we can hit for sure next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another one that is very important. The food service, contract currently that is going on, that I'm not in favor of. So, but we can get to that one.
And Anna, if you'd like to like and share the page, if you want to get message Manny Falso on Facebook, and I think Jack, you have his contact, or Janie, and get together if you want to come on our show. We're more than welcome. We'd like to have as many people as possible throughout the valley, because especially with coronavirus, you're not able to do the pachangas. You're not able to necessarily do the coffees that you ordinarily would be able to do. And so this is, I think, an avenue for as many candidates as possible. Sanders has a comment. Jack, your background in education, law enforcement through your late dad, sister, Senor Garcia, sorry, and your knowledge of politics make you the best candidate. So that's well said, well written. God bless you, Jack, and God bless your son as well and your family.
And guys, thank you all very much. It's been great. I look forward to it again.
Yeah, don't go away. I'm just going to say a couple of things, and then we'll close off live, and then we'll be able to talk afterwards while we're live. Guys, tomorrow, put on the crawl, Manny. Tomorrow is a big bout day. Do you have the image that you have of Biden and Trump, Manny? Ready?
I can figure it out very quick. Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock sharp, we're going to have coverage of the presidential debate here on RioPolitics. Coverage you're not going to get anywhere else. If you want to watch Fox and MSNBC and CNN, you can watch them if you want to, but it's not going to be as fun because you're not going to get a local perspective. We're going to have a number of people on the show, hit or miss. I think, is that going to come on, Manny, or not?
He didn't say, but he didn't say no.
No, so this is our plan, guys. This is the main event for tomorrow night. So at 7 o'clock, we'll do the hour of coverage pregame. I already got some topics we're going to be talking about, getting ready. Manny already put on the crawl that there was no handshakes that's going to happen for the debate. We're going to stream the debate live here with live commentary during debate. We're not going to try to interrupt them as much as possible, but we might make little snark comments, during the debate. But you're not going to miss the debate. And as soon as the debate is over, we're going to go as long as you want us to go. We're going to talk about the debate with highlights from what happened, our comments, who we thought won the debate, who we thought lost, why did they win, why did they lose. So please join us tomorrow here. And if you are on, like I say, Google or have a Gmail account or YouTube channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can get more subscribers. We already have about 20 subscribers, and we're not really hitting it very hard. We're more focused on Facebook. But we'd like to get some more subscribers on YouTube. And so that's our show for Tuesday. Wednesday, we have our Haley Miller, who's a Brownsville ISD school board candidate, going to be with us. Ray, hopefully you'll be able to join us. So no Erasmo tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It's going to be the debate. You're going to stay here. And if Erasmo wants to join in the fun tomorrow and be a guest there, he can come on over, because I don't know why anybody would want to watch Erasmo's show at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'm just kidding. And then on Thursday, do we have John lined up for Thursday after all, Manny?
Yeah, well, I was waiting to hear back from you from the other John. John is ready to step up.
Who?
John is ready to step up if I tell him that Thursday.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to John Chambers, Republican candidate for sheriff, will be with us on Thursday. And I don't know who we have on Friday, but I'm sure we'll find somebody on Friday. We got some free Taco Tuesday. No, I'm not going to. You can have your own tacos, Ray. You can have your own tacos. And be ready with the alcohol. We may play a drinking game. We might play a drinking game. I don't drink alcohol, but if I have to go buy me some alcohol beverages so I can, whatever, I might do it. You never know. So please join us tomorrow. It's going to be awesome at 7 o'clock, not 7:30, at 7 o'clock right here on RioPolitics Live, okay? God bless you, Jack Garcia. Thank you for joining with us. We'll be hopefully seeing you soon. So good night. God bless. This is RioPolitics Live. We don't make the news. We just.
Yep. Jack, stay